Hello, I'm back again. It happened for a fifth time, and it's going to keep happening for as long as I can. Well, as long as I want it to. But we are back with another guest on Going Off Script. This is Patti Knox. Hello.
Hello.
All right, awesome to have you here.
Pardon?
So it's awesome to have you here.
I'm so sorry. This is the first time your accent has thrown me for a loop. I apologize. It's awesome to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm very honored.
Oh, it's no problem. Yeah, just let the audience tell the little audience a bit about yourself.
I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. I that's me.
Aren't we all?
Right? Um, I've wanted to do acting for years and years and years, and I finally got up the nerve to take acting lessons. My first teacher was Sean Mendham from Baldur's Gate.
Nice.
Amazing coach. But yeah, I love playing D&D. I love playing video games. My wife and I run a cosplay business. That's my real I shouldn't say real job. That is our current work. I really hope acting I can start making enough money that I can provide for us, but we'll see. But yeah, if it's nerdy, we'll probably try it because it's fun.
Oh, absolutely. We cannot not do nerdy things because what sort of nerds would we be?
Right.
Awesome. What's actually I was gonna say now that you mentioned your nerdy, what's your biggest nerdy thing that you're into? Are you into like D&D? I've got a few friends who are into D&D. Are you into that?
I have been playing D&D since the early 90s.
Wow.
And I was dating a guy, and I actually convinced him and his buddies to let me play with them. They let me play with for exactly just one game, which was enough to get me hooked, but they're like, "No, you're not coming back. We don't want girls in our campaign."
it's like it's like women playing D&D? No.
Right.
Witchcraft.
Oh my god. And it was the Wild West in the 90s. I have horror stories I could tell, and I won't,
Mm,
because women in male dominated spaces
yeah.
was not a great thing. But I did eventually find a group that was super fun to play with, and I got hooked, and they let me DM. And for the longest time, I was our group's what they call forever DM. So I would run the campaigns. Yeah, and whenever possible, I try and play D&D, and it's just a great creative outlet. I love telling stories.
Oh, nice. See, I'm good at telling stories as well, and I did try a couple of times to get into D&D, but it just I don't know, I'm just not that kind of nerd. I guess it's just not for me.
Yeah,
I just couldn't get into it personally. But no,
sure.
I'm glad people who do get into it because you see some creative people. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's definitely not for people. And some people, like, if they like storytelling, being the game master or the dungeon master works better for them, because you've got your fingers in all the different pies, and you're kind of narrating and doing the overview, and that works better, and they really don't enjoy being players.
Hmm.
And some people prefer being a player because they don't want all that because it's a lot of responsibility to run a table. So,
Yeah. I mean, a good friend of mine is a D&D GM most of the time, and he does often talk about it. And he's got three characters in different classes, and he's drawn them, given them names. They got personalities, like past and everything. It's like wow, and it's like you just really got these guys to just be a part of this whole thing, and you bring them in for every campaign that you do, and you just and he just adores these characters, particularly one of them. He created a like a clown girl that he named Polyachi, and
oh, okay.
she's like he said a lot of the good things about her is that he said she has a prosthetic leg and she's also asexual as well. And he said that would interest you since you're asexual too. And I went, oh, okay. And I thought, oh wow. And I think he created another character recently. He asked me to draw for him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I've drawn Polly a few times, but he adores Polly so much, and I think it's really sweet. He refers to her as his daughter sometimes, and I think that's really sweet.
Aw, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
Um, I know, like, there's different ways to approach playing, and there's more than just D&D because I've played different tabletop games, but like some people approach it where they play it more like a video game, where like you're just you step forward, you kill a monster, you step forward, you find some treasure, you step forward, you kill a monster,
mm,
because that's what they want. And then like the type of games that I'm either in or I run are these giant overarching narratives
oh wow,
where it's basically cooperative storytelling.
yeah. I also feel
You,
like D&D is good for voice actors too, especially if you're a dungeon master or if you want to just play as your character and just really act it out.
it is. I that's part of the reason I wanted to do acting lessons was to broaden my ability to tell stories more authentically and more creatively.
Yeah,
And I can see that, and it's a good obviously Critical Role shows us it's a good jumping off point. If you tell a good enough story in your D&D campaign, you can expand on it and you can bring it to other media. You can animate it, you could probably turn it into a video game or whatnot. It's
yeah.
just the mediums can overlap like that.
Yeah, I mean, Critical Role, they are made up of voice actors as well.
I I could have sworn I saw something because I don't really follow Critical Role. Not because I don't want to, I don't have time. I'm one of those people that if I watched it, I'd have to watch it from the beginning, and I just don't have time. But I could have sworn that someone said this was what they were doing during the pandemic, and that's how Critical Role was born.
Yeah, it was mostly made up of voice actors. I know Matthew Mercer is one of the members,
Yes.
and I would love to speak to him at some point. I would absolutely love him on here as well.
You never know. I mean, he seems like a really cool dude.
Yeah, he does. Speaking of voice acting, was it D&D that made you want to do voice acting, or was there also other reasons why you wanted to pursue it?
Um, so this is kind of a long story. I when I was a kid, I was a singer, and I got scouted in when I was a teenager. I was a backup singer for a group, and my parents said in no way, shape, or form was I allowed to pursue that. I was too young. I needed to do something um, more traditional to
Oh,
make money. Yeah,
that sounds familiar.
yeah. I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. So out in the workplace doing whatever. I did have D&D for my creativity. Eventually I got into cosplay for my creativity. My wife and I ran a cosplay troupe where we would travel around the US and sing and dance and perform on stage at conventions.
Oh,
We did that for about 6 years. That was fun. Um, but that whole time I loved performing, and I had friends that did voice acting, and they're like, you should do this. I'm like, no, I'd suck. Because I have, like most of us, I have no self-esteem. I and which is awful to say, but it is true. So I never gave it any serious thought. I wanted to do the thing, but I was just afraid to do the thing.
yeah.
And I'm getting older, and if I want to do the thing, now's the time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the older you get, the more you just think, do you know what? I just couldn't care anymore. I've lived long enough. I just want to do what makes me happy now.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. It's like either I'm gonna do good or I'm not, but at least I can say I tried. And I'm
Yeah.
glad I tried because now I can say that I'm in video games. I've done animation. It's been 2 years and I'm up to my 22nd IMDb credit. Yeah, it's insane and I love this. It's so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, when you get IMDb, it's because people have said, oh, well, it's a glorified portfolio. And I said, no, no, it's not glorified. It's a public portfolio. But not everything you do will get in there, especially if you do a lot of indie stuff. But even if you do indie stuff, your name's still in credits.
Exactly. And it's really funny. So, my current coach is Erin Lundquist, and she taught me how to do IMDb pages. She actually admitted that she's made it on projects because they knew she could knew how to create the project page for the project.
Oh,
So they would give her a role, and she would obviously she was good enough to be that character. They wouldn't just go, okay, you can do the thing, so I'm going to make you this little character. But that was, you know, a bonus for having her on the project that she could create this. She's like, so having these extra little side things you can do is a selling point, because at the end of the day, this is still a livelihood in the business.
yeah. It is absolutely. It can be a bit tricky sometimes as well. Like, one thing I've noticed is, especially if you get emails from people or claiming to be companies and that, or even when you search for auditions yourself,
Hmm.
what do you find is the biggest red flag that makes you say no, I will not touch this?
God. Well, for just things that are, get emailed to me, if they aren't talking to me specifically, if they make like a general, I saw your information on the internet and,
I've had
you
those. Yep.
know, you know, some of them are written very well now. Like I've corresponded with a few people, and then they're like, you know what, I can't pay you through PayPal, but if you give me your bank account information, no,
You're like, no.
no, no, no.
The whole purpose of PayPal is so we don't have to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But for auditions, like out in the wild auditions, what would be a red flag? If they, we all know the say something that fits.
Yeah. Yeah. You find that on Casting Call Club all the time.
Yeah. But if they're auditioning for their artists and their and other things along with the actors, that means they have a concept,
Mm,
but they haven't put work forth. And sometimes it works out, but most of the times it doesn't. So the last people you really need to be hiring, honestly, are the actors. Your script should be ready, your character should be ready, everything should be ready,
mm.
and then you bring us in.
Yeah, we're the last thing to do. We're the last thing, and
Yeah,
we're also the first before animation too. So you can match the animation with our voices.
exactly.
Yeah, that's why we wait the longest for it to be released, because we're the first ones to actively put something in there.
It can be. I look at these projects. I'm like, if these people start asking for lines at the same time, I am so screwed.
Mm. See,
Because
I could probably voice over an animatic, but it takes a few goes to get it right.
yeah,
Mm,
there is. So my wife, what she does is one of her part-time jobs is what's called ADR scripting.
mm,
It's where when things come overseas and they want to dub it into English, she takes those scripts and she does the timing. So the mouth flaps, when somebody's talking at what time code, she's got to code it so it's like, do you see their mouth? Is it on screen? Are they making a closed mouth noise and things like that? If you've ever seen one of those crazy scripts,
yeah.
she does that. So I learned what's called ADR dubbing from her, actually, because she does that, and I watch her she has to break them down.
Mm.
She's also an actor, but she has to break them down, act them out, and fit all of that within that window. So that way when the actors that have been chosen for the part get it, it's ready to go and they know exactly how long they have to do what they need to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tricky job in itself as well, because that's getting everything prepared for the voice actors.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And recording it. That's why it makes me sad that people that do dubbing get so much crap, because it's a skill
Mm.
to make the mouth flaps meet up and make everything look like it was dubbed in your language and not in a foreign language.
Mm. Yeah, because I did a video game. I ADR'd from a game that was originally in Japanese.
Hmm.
Um, and they basically said that they wanted me to record the lines on like a live stream to kind of like so we could see the footage properly. And they said you don't have to match the lips as such because they just go in and out like on the game. but what they wanted me to do was listen to the original actor and just match the energy. And
Okay.
I thought that is definitely ADR, because that's matching what they did, matching their energy, matching the voice level, their emotion. And it's also, one trick they did was they said, oh, the way your character is as well, she has a unique way of laughing. And I was like, okay. And they said, well, this is how she sounds. And they played the original actress with the bit where she laughs.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, this is how she laughs. And I was like, okay. And they said, do you think you could, says, do it quite slowly, but like the way she does it, try and mimic that. And I was like, okay. So he said, oh yeah, give it a go. And I just went, it's a strange laugh, I'll give it a go. And then I went, huh, huh, huh.
Okay.
and then they went, that's spot on.
Oh my gosh. That is too funny. No, there was one thing, and I can't say too much about it because it's still under NDA, but it was in a foreign language, not Eastern,
Mm.
and I had to dub it with the director in session, and they were using some really fancy high tech thing where um I would record the line and it would instantly record it, and they could back it up and edit it ever so slightly, and they actually managed to tweak my performance so what I was saying matched the movement of it was live action of the live action actresses
Oh.
mouth movements. Probably about, I want to say about 98%. Obviously you can't get it dead on, but
Ah, because I've noticed a lot of ADR jobs, particularly like you get them on like TikTok and Instagram, of these like short these short video dramas that are in several parts, and
yes.
a lot of them come from China, and they always want people to dub over the I think they said it's in Mandarin, I think, and they want English actors to dub over it, and then they can post them up officially on the site for like English viewers instead of looking at them subtitled. But it's a job's a job at the end of the day. But
It is actually very big right now. It's called vertical dubbing, I believe.
oh,
Um, and it's I just was able to announce with a bunch of people that we worked on one. It was called Lady Kelly's Counterattack, and from that, myself and other castmates have gotten a ton of offers because I guess like they are churning those things out overseas, and they're desperate for actors to come in and dub them. But it is super fast paced. Like you have 24 hours to audition, and then if you get the part, you have 48 hours to do 50 episodes. They're
wow.
90-second, yeah, they're 90-second episodes, but you have 2 days to give it back because they want these things up and on the internet as fast as they can.
Oh wow. I mean, I don't know if
Thousands of
I
them.
don't know if I'd be able to keep up with that. I mean, wow. And
Yeah.
and they give people shit for dubbing jobs. Come on, that's a lot. That is very hard work.
It really is, and I think a lot of it stems from, the old Godzilla thing. We all remember where the dubbing from the 70s was really, really bad.
Mm.
And moving into the 90s, they got a little better, but we had the jelly donut incident from Pokemon. And I don't think anybody's
Yes.
ever let the American dubbers
Oh,
live that down. So
these donuts are great. Jelly filled are my favorite. And then it's like, that's clearly not a donut. Oh wow. Oh god.
yeah.
Do you know what? Say what you want about 4Kids, but they did some killer Pokemon dubs.
No, they did. They
Yeah.
really did. And a whole generation was introduced to Pokemon. Come on.
Yes.
The Sailor Moon dubs weren't much better.
The original Viz ones, no, they weren't great. I mean, they did Americanize it, to be fair, but at the end, it's like at the end they always did like a PSA at the end as well, like Sailor Says, and
Yes.
I'm sure they were copying the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog because that was out at the same time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were just copying that because, mind you, most cartoons did that sort of thing. Even like He-Man did that back in the 80s.
Yeah, now that you mention it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they always did like something at the end. Sometimes it was related to the episode, and sometimes it was just out of random. I just want to mention something to you.
Yeah.
I think one of them I saw, they mentioned about, I think it was, they said, he just says, in today's adventure, Skeletor went back in time to do this and this. In reality, time travel doesn't exist. So history can't be changed, but we can make sure the future is better than what the past was. And I'm like, oh, well, that was an interesting one to come out with. Okay. He's not wrong, but I didn't expect that.
Right.
Yeah, he's just
And
saying
that's pretty
saying
cool.
be better than the past so we can have better futures. I'm like, okay, that's actually a good lesson, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I wouldn't mind. I feel like today's kids are a little too cynical for that, but it'd be nice to see some of that back again. Maybe for the adults, we need to put them at the end of the TV shows to remind everybody to not be dicks.
Yeah, but everybody always remembers the Sonic the Hedgehog one. That's no good. That's the one everybody talks about.
I feel bad. I've not seen any of the Sonic cartoons.
No, it's just fine. I mean, I've not seen every single one. Like for example, the Netflix one at the moment, Sonic Prime. I've not seen that, but apparently a lot of the voice actors in that are quite well known.
Mm.
And a lot of people criticised it at first because they said, "Why aren't you keeping the game voice actors?" And I said, "Well, let other people have a job. Come on, let other people give
Right.
it a go."
I feel like that all the way across the industry, but I understand it's a marketing tool. But that being said, you see these same 10 actors and everything at this point, and it's like, all right, I know there's a lot of other people that are talented out there. Come on.
Mm. What I like about the movies though is they kept Tails' game voice actor.
Did they?
Yeah, and at first, because when Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came out,
Mhm.
um, they introduced her saying that she was going to reprise her role as Tails in the movie, and everybody was like, "Oh wow, they got the game voice actor for Tails." I was like, "Oh wow!" And then they saw all the posters of saying somebody like James Marsden as Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik and things like that, like all these big Hollywood names. And
Mhm.
there was not a single mention of her at all. And even they even said Idris Elba as Knuckles, and I'm like, where's Colleen's name? And then and everybody on the internet was asking, why doesn't Colleen have a poster? What the hell?
Yeah.
And then they obviously heard it because then a month before the movie came out, as Tails, I was like, well, complaining works.
Sometimes it does. We have to keep pushing for these kind of things. Like remember the AI dub that they tried to push through of, I think it was Banana Fish, and everybody went berserk, and they got it pulled down off of Amazon. So we
Ah,
have to be vocal.
yep. So I mean that's how they got Sonic's model changed from the first movie. I guess it was the same reason.
Yeah, now that you mention it.
Yeah, because they saw the first trailer and they were like, "That is not him. Who the hell is that?" And then they had
Yeah, that was not gonna fly.
Chip and Dale movie on Disney Plus where they had a character in it who was literally Ugly Sonic, where they completely made fun of the original design and how much people said how ugly it was and that, and they said, and he was an actual character in this movie. I was like, Ugly Sonic, everybody. I was like, okay, they actually went there. Interesting.
That's too funny.
Oh dear. I mean, they say what they will about that movie. It did have its moments. I think Ugly Sonic was the one that stood out though to everybody. Oh dear. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at my list here. Uh, when you do voice acting as well, what's the? Well, I was gonna say just before we do,
Yeah.
when we just talk about things, this is just what we do. We talk about voice acting, but if stuff goes into stuff, we just talk about it. So that's kind of what we've been doing.
Having a conversation. I love it.
Yeah, voice actors are people too. That's kind of one of the purposes of this podcast as well.
I love that. I
Yeah.
really, really love that.
So I was gonna ask, what the most challenging part of it for you is personally.
Oh, Gosh. Um well, if we want to talk about from the technical side, I am now recording in. We had to move. I had a really cool PVC booth set up in our old apartment. This place is organized differently, so I had to take over our walk-in closet.
Oh.
And we connect up to several different apartments like at that juncture. So I'm really stressed about the fact that my noise floor is not as good as I would like it to be, and I'm terrified that it's costing me work. Doing the
Mm.
best that I can, but you know how it is if you're not in a house, or you're not able to isolate yourself. I mean, if they're doing laundry on the other side of the wall, there is nothing I can do about that.
Yeah. I mean, because I still get a tiny bit of reverb on my microphone, which I am going to sort out. But I've been worried that maybe they're hearing that, because I thought if I can hear it a bit, they can hear it a bit, even if it's not that obvious. But it is that worry. Are they going to dismiss me just because of that? Is it really that harsh? And you do wonder that sometimes, because some people can be a bit uptight about it, but at the same time, it's like you want your quality to be at its best, and I understand that.
Exactly. And I have this right around the negative 60 dB mark. For anybody who listening who doesn't understand what that is, there's something called a noise floor that we have to keep an eye on to keep the window of where we record nice and clean and pretty and sparkly.
Mm,
But right at the bottom edge of that is called negative 60 dB. And right at that point right there's this low hum. I can't find where it's coming from, and I can't make it go away.
mm,
And I've traded microphones. It's not the microphone. I've tried pulling my laptop out. It's not the laptop. There is something that is just sitting there, but it's so low that if I use a high pass filter, I can and go below it, like to negative 70, which nobody can hear anyway. And I scrub it, it's gone. And I have an amazing sound.
mm.
So I've been cheating, and it works, and it doesn't affect my vocals because I don't have a bass voice. I am low for a female, but
Yeah,
I
I'm the same. I've got that sort of lowish voice, as you can tell.
yeah, yeah, alto. Let's go.
Yes, alto's probably one of the best ones you could do, though. Because as well, if they because they said, oh, can you try and do a really low voice? And I'm like, how low do you want me to go? And they said, just as low as you can. I'm like, you're out of order. How dare you do that to me?
Right.
And then they went, how did you? And they said, can I just ask how you did that? And I said, I pushed my throat down to the bottom of my collar.
Yep. It's when I get sick, I can sound like a baritone.
I can as well, actually. I just do a baritone and then I go.
Exactly. But bringing back to your original question, that from a more less technical aspect, that is actually a challenge for me. Is since I do D&D, I like to have different voices in my pocket and things like that.
Mm,
But when we're doing these auditions, a lot of times they want young, bright, feminine voices,
mm,
and you can hear me talking. That is not me.
yeah. I mean,
I get cast as mom and grandma constantly.
I often do. Yeah, I get cast as older women as well, and it's like, and I'm looking at them thinking, I've only just turned 38. What are you trying to say?
Let me get my cane out.
Yeah.
Today. Thank you.
I'm not totally in my prime like I was, but I'm still here. Come on. But when they say, oh, let's do light, sweet voices, I can't go very high. But I can, like, go as high as I can, but even then it can hurt my throat after a while.
Yeah.
So I have to be careful how high I can go. But if they go, get very high, I either go, no, I can't do that, or I'll go, I'll try and just see. And then I look back on, I mean, I've done it a couple of times on Casting Call as well, where I think I did it recently, actually. I did 4 characters in the same project, and 2 of them were a little bit fairer voice, bit sweeties, and they've straight away said no.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I think my voice is too deep for them, fair enough. But the other two, they have put me into consideration, though, to be fair. But I thought, all right, better than nothing.
Yeah. That's really cool though. They do remember you. Like I again back to the I don't have the best self-esteem. So when someone says something nice, I literally screen cap it or I save the email and I put it in there. So when I'm having a bad day, I come back and revisit and go, okay, I don't suck nearly as much as I think I do.
Yeah. Yeah, cause I'm the same. I don't do that, but I do have bad self-esteem, and having autism on top of that does not help the matter at all.
Oh gosh.
But I just sometimes if I'm like really worried and I'm like really worried, and then my autistic thoughts kick in, and then my anxiety disorder kicks in, and then it can, if I'm not careful, it triggers a panic attack, and I'm like, and then it turns out I was worrying about nothing, and it's like people need to be a little bit more clearer with what they say sometimes, because I don't know if they're being genuine or they're being nice to me. It gets a little awkward, but at the end, I like to see that people are trying to be kind, but part of me says, they're not though, are they? You know they're not.
There is an awareness out there, and I think there is a portion of the population, and it might be because they're also neurospicy in some way, shape, or form, that they're trying really hard. They're not doing the, hey, I want to talk to you thing, and then they drop the conversation and you're left there going, oh my God, what the hell?
Yeah.
So,
honestly, every conversation I have ends with me sitting there with a bit of a cold sweat and going, oh my God, how ridiculous did I sound just now? Oh, every time, I guarantee after the end of this one, I'm going to be in that zone. but as every time, it is never anything against you or anyone. It's all about me. It's like the idea of, oh my God, what they must think of me now. What the hell was I doing? It's that sort of thought process I often go through. But it never lasts, to be fair, but it happens every single time.
It's hard putting yourself out there, and that's what makes acting so hard, because you have to put yourself out there and present things and hope that your version of what you've presented is what they're looking for. It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah. See, I can do like the voice acting and everything, but when somebody says, okay, can you do this voice in front of me? I'm like, right now? Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not exactly prepared, but and then they go like, I just want to hear something from you. Can you say this in this kind of voice? I just want to hear this from you. And I'm like, or even like, say I have that when people are in front of my bit. It's like, I get nervous with an audience. I don't perform at my best with an audience because I'm too nervous. And then sometimes, my mum likes hearing me do voices, and it's often that point of the. You ever seen The Simpsons where Bart becomes a famous performer, and everybody, as one scene in the classroom, everybody's staring at him in silence, like they're expecting something from him, and he just feels a bit awkward. He says, I didn't think I'd say this, but shouldn't we be learning something? And they're like, say the line, Bart.
Oh.
I've had that from my mum a few times. That sort of, as she says, she tries doing a voice and she goes, go on, you do the voice, you're better at it than me. and then one time I did that joke to her. I just went, oh, okay, so I'm the voice actor, I've got to do it. Say the line, Shell, go on.
Yeah. I can see where that would be incredibly stressful.
I find it funny when it's my mum though.
Yeah.
But if it's other people, if they keep going, oh, can you do this voice? Can you do this voice? I'm like, I will do it once for you, but once. Don't see me as just a voice. I'm a person as well,
That is something that you have to contend with if you're ever fortunate enough to get on the con circuit. Because people are going to, come up and want you to do the character that they like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I would come to expect that, but it's like, if somebody's in private going, hey, can you do this? I'm like,
do the roar.
Do the roar. Yeah, do the roar. That's another example. Do the roar.
Yup.
I learned that kid's name, apparently in the credits, his name is Butterpants. And I'm like, wow, okay. His name is Butterpants. Okay. That's interesting. There is apparently there is a moment where Shrek does say his name because he keeps going like, "Can you do that for my son?" And he's like, "Do the roar," and he says no, and he comes back and he's like, "Oh wow, you're not doing anything. Can you do one of those famous roars? Do the roar." And he just looks at him and he says, Let me set you straight, Butterpants." And I thought that was just him calling him that, but it's actually according to the credits, that's actually his name.
It'd be funny if that was an ad lib.
Yeah,
and that's how that character got a name.
I mean,
I can see that being a thing.
Knowing that, it probably was. But the thing what makes me laugh afterwards is not only him just going, "Do the roar," he walks off and he's like saying stuff, "Hold it together, hold it together." You hear him going, "Daddy's getting away, do something." And I thought, that's kids meeting voice actors in general. Do the voice, do the voices. Like, "I'll do it for you later. I can't right now. I'm kind of busy signing stuff for people. If you wait your turn, I'll do it for you." But then they keep bothering you, like, "Oh, can you do it for my child? They really want to meet you. They love you." And it's like, it says, "Yeah, I know, but you've got to wait your turn. I'm doing that." Like, "Get away, do something. Make him do what I want." And then when they actually get it, "I love you, Daddy."
Yep.
Oh dear, yeah. I thought that's another example. Yeah, it's another good example. Oh dear. Oh, speaking of voice actors, who was your biggest inspiration?
Oh man. Gosh, this is kind of embarrassing. So, I actually got. I had mentioned that I was very scared to do this, and I was watching my one of my favorite actors stream, and that would be Mr. Neil Newbon.
Oh.
And he said something. He apparently said to his kid, "True bravery is to feel fear, but to carry on regardless," and that absolutely resonated with me.
Oh.
And it just, and I was like, that's really cool. And Neil on his streams back in the day, I haven't been able to watch any of his streams in a long time, but back in the day he would talk about anecdotes about acting and things that he would do, and it was super fascinating, and I really enjoyed listening to it. And like a week or two after he said that, I just so happened that Sean Mendham had made a post about a free class that he did for a place called Theater Gym, and you could come in and find out about voice acting. And I wasn't going to do it, and I literally heard Neil's voice in the back of my head saying that, that line, and I'm like, you know what, all right, fine, fuck it, I'm just going to go in, I'm going to go ahead and take this free class. It costs me nothing. If it interests me and I like it, I can decide what to do then. But if it doesn't interest me, or it's not something I want to do, then it costs me nothing. So I did it. And I just so happened to have the money to take the class after that, and take a paid class after that. And I told Sean, I said, I was a singer as a kid, and acting, the breathing and everything like that, it felt like coming home.
Oh.
And so I've been doing it ever since. But the inspiration was hearing Neil say, true bravery is to feel fear, but to carry on regardless. And I'm really glad I heard that, because I'm now happier than I have been in decades, because I'm finally doing something that I've always wanted to do.
Oh, that's amazing. That's honestly really sweet.
I actually got to tell Neil in person, and then I blacked out. My wife is laughing as she was standing next to me, because at the end he came back around, because he's really good in person. Like, he talked to me, he talked to my wife, who had stepped back to let me talk to him, and he made sure to engage her and talk to her and make her feel present and welcome and seen. And that's what I really like about Neil, is he likes to make people feel seen. And I did thank him, and then he asked her what she did for a living, and they chatted for a bit. He turned back to me, he took my hand in both of his, looked me dead in the eye, and said, "I look forward to working with you someday." I remember nothing after that.
Oh, so you did black out.
I did. I absolutely blacked out. I tripped over a post on the way out, and that was the next thing I remembered.
Oh wow.
And I'm an extrovert, so I'd been looking forward to meeting this man for a while to say thank you. That literally, because this has changed my life, and
Yeah.
I'm really, I found my joy in life, and I'm so happy, and I wanted to thank him for it. And no, I blacked out. That was it.
Oh wow. I mean, if you're at that point where you feel I'm at full bliss right now, I suppose that is a bit of a blackout trigger, really, isn't it?
I guess so.
Oh dear me. Oh well, no, that was genuinely really sweet what he did for you. That was really lovely to hear. Oh dear. Oh, um, this is kind of well, it's got three questions in one to a degree. If you could mention some of the characters you've voiced, who your favorite one so far was, or the most memorable.
I can tell you the most memorable. It seems to be Evie from Disventure Camp.
Oh,
Uh, Disventure Camp is an ongoing series. It's an indie series made by Odd Nation,
oh, I
and
auditioned for that.
yeah, harkening back to that, I'll come back to that in a second.
Yeah.
Um, they are another one of those will remember you. So if you've done an audition, they will remember you. I auditioned for season 4,
Ah.
and a year later, they came back and they said, "Hey, we've got this character. Could you read for her?"
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and they remembered me, and I read for her. And they had notes. And what was really wild was, all right, so you're still reading for Evie, but we have this other character, Darlene, and we're just going to give her to you. You're Darlene now if you want her.
Ah.
And they're like, but keep reading for Evie. And then I eventually did land Evie, but Evie is currently in season 5. It's ongoing. Next episode is next weekend, I believe the 11th. But she is an homage to Jennifer Coolidge in White Lotus.
Oh.
That is exactly what they said to me. They're like, "All right, here is a collage of all of Jennifer's best lines. Read it. We would like Evie to be a play off of that." And I gave them my interpretation of it, and we tweaked it and got it all lined up, and they were very happy. But she is not all there,
Oh,
and she is just a fun, fun, fun character.
awesome. No, I'm glad to hear that you got in the show though. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just keep auditioning for them when they do that, and if you have auditioned in the past, they will have all of that information,
Yeah.
and they will reach out. So
That's the thing I've
that,
found for a lot of people you audition for. A lot of them will keep your info.
mm-hmm. I want to say a good 80 to 90% of what I get is I audition for something, and either they'll send me an email that says something along the lines of, thank you, but no thank you. You weren't a good fit for this, but we really did appreciate your audition.
Mm.
And then I hear back from them a year later,
Oh wow.
um, which is kind of wild. There was a big, again, something I'm under NDA for, but there was a big casting call last year. I did not make it in. And then not too long ago, the person reached out to me and says, "Hey, I've got a character in this. Could you come voice it?" And so I'm in the project. Just a small part, but
Yeah.
still they remembered me. That's just really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I've yet to experience something like that myself, but one day it'll happen, I suppose, because I've auditioned for thousands of things at this point now, so it could be anything. Could be
When
some.
the time is right, you'll hear back from them. I guarantee you.
It could be something from like 3 years back that I completely forgot about.
I remember Sarah Nightingale mentioning that they had auditioned for something almost a decade earlier, and they heard back from them.
Wow.
And they had to go hunting through all of their auditions to see what it was.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's another thing I do. I always save every audition I do in case I get picked for anything.
Yeah, I was told to do that right off the bat, so I went out and bought another hard drive.
Yeah, I mean, wow, you have ones from ages, but sometimes if I get called back for something and they say, "Oh, we want you to give this another go," because sometimes I've had callbacks as well where they've said, "Oh, can you do this? We just want to see if you're a good match for it because we think you are. We just want to hear this from you." And I had to say to her, I said, "It's been a while. I really can't remember what the character sounds like." And I said, "Do you have a copy of my audition file? Because I don't anymore. I thought I didn't get this." And then they went, "Oh, okay, yeah, yeah," and they just sent it to me. And then I just said, "Yeah, no problem. To be fair, it's been several months. You're not gonna remember this, so sure." And then
That's
so
nice.
they sent me my old audition file, and they said this was the voice she did. So if you could just do that voice again, but say this instead. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, I can do that." Because you do so many voices over time, you forget what voices you did for what or what it sounds like.
Yeah, it can add up really quick.
Mm. I've got like two full files now that say auditions one, auditions two. Well, like they just fill up so quickly. The ones that I get rejected for, I do
Mhm.
delete because I think you know what, there's no point in keeping it full up. But if I don't hear back from any, they'll just stay there because it's like, oh, well, I don't know what's going on. But that's just how I roll. But I do keep most of my auditions, if not all.
Yeah. For a while, I considered actually, because I have a spreadsheet. I actually opened it when you asked the last question. I track like things that I've landed, and for a while, I was tempted to track everything. But if you're doing an audition a day or two, an audition or two a day,
Mm.
I mean that's over 700 auditions a year.
Oh yeah, it is.
I know. I'm like, I can't do that.
It feels a lot because you're doing it most days, and then it just feels a lot. But you think, I need to do these, but I need a couple of days where I'm not in the booth. I just need a.
Yeah.
It's sort of like going, I need a moment.
Well, so back to Sean. I was in Sean's mentorship program, and one of the things he stressed with me particularly, because I tend to obsess about acting,
Mm.
is he's like, you need to get out and experience the world, because that's what you bring with you when you
Mm.
get in the booth, is your experiences and your vision of the character, and you can't do that if you're in the booth all the time.
Yeah.
Plus, you get stressed out. So, I make sure to do me time and away time. But for me, being in the booth is playtime. Here's another cute anecdote. When I started acting, I also have anxiety. My wife said, "I'm going to make you a deal. You can do this, but it's only as long as you have fun.
Yeah.
When it stops being fun for you, we need to sit down and reevaluate. I don't have to quit, but we have to take a step back and breathe and reevaluate." And I think that's fantastic. And every time I set foot in the booth, she'll call out to me, "Have fun."
Oh, that's good.
So, and I do the same for her when she records, because now she's out there doing the same thing. And that's the thing, is it's playtime for me when I go in there. I get to, for 5 minutes, be this character when I audition.
Mm.
What kind of fun spin can I bring to this character, and how can I play with it?
Mm. Usually when I go in the booth, I just go like, all right, I'm gonna go in and do this. So try and keep it a bit quiet. And I was like, okay. And they said, look, don't spend too long in there. Yeah, don't spend more time than you need. And I was like, all right, I won't do. I always get reminded not to sit in there for too long. So I was like, okay, I can do that.
That's fair. That's fair. I do my breakdowns, like especially if it's for like a big audition. I do my breakdowns at my desk where I'm at right now, and I'll open it up and I'll kind of feel out the character and do the who, what, when, where, why, and kind of get an idea of what, without actually saying the lines, get an idea of what I want the character to sound like. Like I usually start with a laugh. How would this character laugh? And
Mm.
that kind of brings me into the character. Gray Delisle actually said that in an interview, and it stuck with me. And I'll do like the pre-life work out here, and then when I go in the booth, that's when I play.
Yeah. I actually noticed something about Grey Delisle. I've seen her in like recent credits of things that she's done, and
Mm-hmm.
she calls herself Grey Delisle Griffin now.
Oh, I did not know that.
I think she's kept her name but took her husband's name as well, so she's called Grey Delisle Griffin.
Okay.
And I thought,
I
oh,
didn't know.
it's rare that you see a voice actor change the name. It is quite
That
rare.
is very rare.
Yeah. So I looked at that and it said Grey Delisle Griffin. At first she called herself Grey Griffin, and then I think she changed it to Delisle Griffin just because I think people were saying, "Who's Grey Griffin?" And I don't think she really thought, "Oh, okay, no one knows it's me." So it was like Grey Delisle Griffin. And then everyone went, "Ah."
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I could
that could have been why, because I noticed it was Grey Griffin, and I was like, even at first I thought, is that Grey Delisle? But I wasn't sure, and I thought, I don't want to like assume. But I thought, is that them? And I was hearing the voice back, said it sounds like them. It's got to be. And I thought, oh, maybe it's her husband's name, and I thought, well, that's unusual because you don't normally change your surname when you're a voice actor, so people know who you are, and I guess she just put her maiden name in there just to say, hey, listen, I'm the same person, look. You recognise that name? I just put Griffin on the end of it, and like, oh, yeah, we thought so.
And then you have someone like Steve Blum who had two like completely separate recording careers and did half of his work under Steve Blum and half under, what was the pseudonym, Steph?
Dave something.
Yeah.
I just remember being like, I was right. I was right.
All right. So he did an other recordings under Dave something, and when he compiled both together, that's when he won the Guinness Book of World Record, like most characters ever done as a voice actor.
Oh, wow. So it makes you wonder then, what's his real name, though?
No clue.
I mean, when you go on his website, because he works as a voice coach as well, and he does classes for people, and he's under Steve Bloom in that, and it's like, and then you hear about this other name, and you're like, well, which one? You don't have to say, but which one's your real name? I'm just wondering, you know, because I don't know if Steve Bloom is your real name, but you know,
That is his real name.
that
I just
one is.
Wikipedia'd him.
It is actually Steve Bloom.
Stephen Bloom, yes.
Ah, nice. So he uses his real name at voice acting, and then anything else he goes under another name.
He did for a while. I think he does everything under Steve Blum now, so.
Ah, I wonder why that was. I suppose we'd have to ask him that, but I don't know.
Yeah, and I bet you somebody has, and it's out there somewhere.
Yeah, he's someone else I'd love to speak to one day. I mean, he's pretty much a voice acting veteran at this point.
Yeah, he's been at it, I think, since like the 90s. Yeah.
He still does.
Yeah.
He still does Wolverine as well. He's always. I've heard him as Wolverine a lot.
Yeah.
Besides the one from the X-Men '90s show, he was good as well, actually. But but one thing I love though, as time goes on, you always hear more than one voice actor playing the same character over time, and I love that because it's giving other people a chance to get in that character's mind and be them, and put their own interpretation of them out there, and I quite like that.
Yeah. Somebody recently got cast. Was it Wolverine got cast as? No, we have a new Deadpool. That's what it was. We have a new Deadpool in the Marvel Rivals. So they're slowly but surely, like, in different franchises, updating the voice cast, and again, it letting people take a crack at these amazing characters, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard him as Deadpool in that, and he kills it. He's really good at it. Yeah. He does it really well. And
I wouldn't know what to do with an iconic character. Like if somebody said, "Hey, could you voice Rogue?" I would cry.
I mean, the one who voices Rogue now in Marvel Rivals is also the one who voiced her in the 90s series.
Yes. Oh, and she's so good. I love her.
Yeah, she's really good. I love that. And one of the people I've got listed that I'd love to have on the show is... Oh, if only I could remember his name correctly, but he voices Jeff, the land shark. I'm trying to remember what his name was. This is just so embarrassing now that I can't even remember. I've got so many names down. But no, I know who he is. I follow him on social media and stuff like that, and he does these funny little Jeff videos sometimes. That's how I found him.
Oh, that's cool.
Like he did one where he was shouting each Marvel Rivals character's special move as Jeff. And I thought, and they were really funny, and I thought, okay, yeah, I need to follow this guy straight away. I need to follow him, he's really good.
I will have to check that out. I have not played Marvel Rivals yet.
It's good, it's like one of those, it's like an online game, like you have to be online to play it, but it's good, it's worth a play.
It looks like it's kind of like Overwatch.
It's kind of similar. It's like a mix between Overwatch and I don't want to say Team Fortress 2, but I think it's got some of that in there somewhere. But there is a lot of Overwatch you can see in there though, particularly with the like protecting missions, guarding and guiding something from another team while you've got to stop them, things like that. Yeah, it is quite similar in that aspect. Or like taking an area. Although Overwatch has other stuff in it. Well, like I've seen that I've not played that in a long time, but they've got like capture the flag and things like that. So they've got quite a few other things. But the only reason I caught eye on Overwatch again was because they introduced a new character called Jetpack Cat. And me loving cats, it is literally what it is. It's a little ginger cat on a big jetpack, and he's controlling the robot. God. It's really cute. And the person who's voicing the cat kills it, because they just literally voiced with me. I was like, and I'm like, oh.
So no spoken lines, it just animal.
It's just literally animal noises, like, but it's kind of trying to mimic like how a human would mimic words. Like if you just go like, I don't know, the cat would be like stuff like that. Or like he'll wave with his little paw and he'll go like oh, it's so cute. Okay. I love Jetpack. I love Jetpack Cat just because it's a Jetpack Cat. Oh dear.
I hadn't heard of that one. I haven't played Overwatch in a very long time, but I kind of want to check that out.
Yeah, because I only heard of Jetpack Cat because people were putting her, rather, as a girl character, all over like Blue Sky and all over like Instagram and things like that, saying best new character ever added, Jetpack Cat, and I was like, oh my god, they added a flying cat. I was like, oh, they added a flying cat. Okay, I need to have a look at this now.
I would say they jumped the shark, but Marvel's got, the land shark, so...
Yeah, they got a land shark, they've got a jetpack cat, so I guess they're kind of working at the cute factor right now. Oh, dear.
Get everybody to play games.
Yeah. And I thought, did Jetpack Cat exist because of Jeff? No.
I want to know who went into the business meeting and went, I have an idea for a new character. Hear me out.
So there's this cat, okay, and there's a jetpack, okay, and the cat sits on the jetpack and fires and it's a healer as well, so it can go around and shoot healing factors on your character's team, but it can also shoot and fly around and zoom around in the air. And I was like, so what are you going to call the character? Jetpack Cat, get out of my office.
Right?
Come up with a better name. But then they went, oh, yeah. Or it could have been one of those moments where they said, okay, we need to come up with a name for this character. Something like Jetpack Cat, only not as lame, just come up with something good. Okay. So we agreeing on Jetpack Cat? Yeah.
Somebody signed off on that and it made it to production. That's all you gotta know.
Well, there's no lie on what the character is. It says exactly what it is. To be fair, but,
you know what you're getting into.
Probably as simple as you could get, I suppose. What character are you playing as? Junkrat. Who's Junkrat? Is it a rat that goes in junk? No, it's a man who is just really crazy and wild and uses a lot of explosives, and he's basically from a group of people known as Junkers. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, who are you going to use? Roadhog. Oh, is that like a pig on a motorcycle or something? No, it's just a giant man who's really mysterious, has his face covered, and he is also a junker who basically is quite a brute and is quite a defensive, strong character. And they went, oh, okay. So let me guess, Jetpack Cat is basically some person who is, going out there healing people and is probably a good person the way Mercy works. No, it's literally a cat in a jetpack. Why didn't anybody tell me?
Oh, God. Yep.
You've got to be clear about what you've got, and to be fair, Jetpack Cat was very clear. Oh, dear. Oh, I think we're going to start to wrap up very soon, but we've also got a couple more questions for you. Okay. When you get a character, and there is no definition for how their voice should sound, and you've only got an image, because that sometimes happens, to be fair, or even just a description, how do you decide what accent or kind of voice the character should have from just a vague description or an image?
Are you talking like for an audition or when I'm handed a character?
Either one, but I'm mostly thinking audition.
So audition, that's my pre-life. So I sit down and I take a look at what I have and I kind of work backwards. I do, a lot of times if I'm really stuck, I'll do the laugh. If I can figure out what they sound like when they laugh, I can usually work backwards from there. But reading the description and getting an idea, and I do this weird homework. Sometimes I'll do like depending on how big it is. Obviously, like some of the casting call stuff, it's not as intensive, but there are big castings out there where I'll sit down and I'll do like free writing. So I'll write some, like all right, so I am a wizard. And try and get into the headspace of this character. And as that starts to form, I can kind of crystallize how I want them to sound. Like if it's somebody who's intelligent and soft-spoken, I kind of go up a bit and I kind of go in kind of breathy, but and that's how I come up with voices. If they're, or if they remind me of somebody, because a lot of times I hear crazy and for some reason I lead into Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
So you get that that grating laugh and the and I know I just chased my wife clean out of the room doing that. She hates that voice. But so I play around and try and get an idea of who the character is, and their voice will come along with that. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's what the director wants, but that's what I envision.
It's probably a good idea as well, because if they only give you so much, you can show your talent just by saying, I think this is what they will sound like.
We have to make a decision, right? Or whether it matches their vision or not. We have to make that decision and bring that character to life the best way we know how.
Yeah.
And that's what works for me.
Yeah, it helps them make a choice as well, because sometimes you can do auditions where they'll say, they'll give you a voice example and say, I envision they sound kind of like this character or this one, maybe do something like that or interpret it. And then if you think, and it's like, I can match that energy, but I think this voice would work better. And then you do a different voice with that character energy. And then every now and then they'll look at that and go, do you know what? That is actually better sounding for that character. I want this person to voice them.
Well, it's funny you say that. I did a workshop with my wife. We did Melissa Grillo's auditions, and she basically said 99, I wouldn't say 99, about 90% of the directors don't know what they actually want until they hear it.
Hmm.
So they can have a concept. Like a lot of the narrators you hear, either they want somebody from Dark Souls or they want the Baldur's Gate narrator, Amelia Tyler. Yes, I believe so. And they want something in that vein, and you give them to them, but somebody also come along with something a little different. And after they've heard 500 Dark Souls narrators, and you've got somebody different with that extra zing, they're like, "That's the one I want."
Hmm. That's the one thing I was told when I've done voice acting workshops. They said when you do auditions, they might give you guidelines, but don't be afraid to try experimenting a bit. Do something a little different because you don't know if they would prefer that. It says it's a risk, but try it. It says even if you do it in a separate take in your audition, like you could do you could do the first take as what they've asked, or you could do your own one as the first take and then the second take what they've asked, and then say I can do these two different sort of voices, I could do this third one as well. It says if you try like a different voice style or a different accent, it says you don't know, says because you're showing your range in your audition at the same time.
Exactly. Like if you do rules as written, if to put it in a D&D term, that's your safety take. Here's your safety take. This is what you've asked for. I will give it to you to the best of my ability. Now, here's what I can really do.
Yeah. You never know. They could easily turn around and say, do you know what? I liked your second take because, I mean, it's not what I envisioned, but I liked it.
Another thing that can happen, and at least for me has happened, is all right, I don't care for you for this character, but we have this character that hasn't been announced yet. Would you like this character?
Do you know what? I've had that a couple of times, and I thought, do you know what? You're offering me a role here. Yeah, go on then.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just like, it's not the character I auditioned for, and I had no idea this character was coming, but wow, I mean, if you think I'm good enough to voice a character I have no clue about, sure, yeah. And then they said to me, "Here's the thing, though. I'm not revealing them for a while yet, so keep it to you, yeah." And I was like, yeah. Says, "Yeah, no problem." But I said, I'll be totally honest. I'll probably forget anyway.
Just remember to email me later when you need me.
Yeah. Oh, okay. What other things do you like to do that's like outside the booth? You're not voice acting, you're just being you. What do you like to do?
So our new thing is gardening. We have a patio at the new apartment we're in. And since we didn't have a winter anyway, and spring decided to come early, my wife and I are finding ways to make like little hanging boxes to put on our patio.
Oh.
And we're going to try and have like vegetables and flowers. We weren't able to do that at our last place.
Oh, that'd be
So I'm
good.
really excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
A lot of people have started growing their own stuff now, I've noticed.
You know what? I wish we could do tomatoes. My mother-in-law grows tomatoes, and we have a habit of sneaking over there and like, I'm gonna take some of your tomatoes, bye. And and that's kind of what started this. And it's just something about being able to get it and right off your property is kind of nice.
I mean, it's also the idea that I've grown them myself. I've worked hard for these. These are going to be worth cooking and eating.
Yup. Since I am an older person, and I'm not old, but I'm above 30. I'm trying to take care of my health a little better. So like I do a lot of cooking from scratch, as much gluten free as I can get away with, that kind of thing, and being able to grow my own vegetables and pickle my own vegetables and things like that. I know what goes into it. It's going to be kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, a friend of mine did something similar where they grew their own fruit, and They also had got their own eggs as well because they raised a couple of hens and they got eggs from them as well.
That would be lovely, but I don't think hens will fit on my little tiny patio.
Yeah, it's a bit different, you know, unless you've got like a garden where you can put a little coop for a pair of hens, you know, that would be.
Yeah.
But if you got a tiny place, no, I mean, it's like saying I could probably put a coop in my back garden, but the place is too full of cats outside. Everybody's got a cat, so I don't think the hens would live very long.
No, 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 no.
Plus, we do get foxes around here sometimes too, and they'd probably be the first to go after them. Yeah, so no, we wouldn't have. I don't think anybody could have hens here. No, foxes or the cats would get them. It's a shame, really. But no, that would be a nice idea. But with the fruit and veg, that is something we've thought about for a while. But we'd need to sort the grass out a little bit and get extra space to do so. So we'll probably do some someday, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Now the last thing that I ask is that I've started asking now. Everybody is there anything that you'd like to ask me?
Yeah. Actually, where did you get your start? I would love to know more about your story.
Oh, that's hard to remember myself. I it ended up clicking when I was in university for voice acting, because I've got I've got 3 college A levels in performing arts, and I've got a bachelor's of arts degree in media and performance as well. And I ended up working as a volunteer in a radio station that was local to me, and I ended up getting a bit of extra education on the side for like working in tech, working in voiceovers, and then I met a voice actor called Sonny Strait, and he's done a lot of anime. He does a lot of ones like he's Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's been in all of them. And he, for a while, did help get voice actors who were new to kind of get going, to kind of boost their way through. And it was because of him that kind of gave me that push forward.
Nice.
And he just gave me that confidence to just get my voice out there, because he was the first one to say to me, if you don't try, you're not going to know. And he said, and this is where you can go, this is what you can do. If you push for it, and you keep going. And he said, and I'm not going to lie to you, 90% of the time you're not going to get any answer or you're going to get a no. And he said, but it doesn't mean you're not any good. It's just because it's so hard out there. So you're going to struggle, but we all do. You just keep going and you will get somewhere. You will get work. Because it says, and even if you don't, they even said the same with what you said, people will keep your name and they'll look back on you. It said, that's how you make a reputation for yourself as a voice actor. Keep doing auditions. And if they like what they hear, they'll keep all your info. And if they want anybody in the future for a project or whatever, they'll get in touch with you and say, hey, you did this for me like 5 years ago. Do you want to be in this?
Exactly.
And I was going through a lot then. Like mentally, I wasn't like doing very well. And I was just really struggling. And my auditions were like behind. And I went into therapy and I was like worried about my social life and worried about people I knew and if people liked me and things like that. And
yeah,
I was just a mess, and I went in and out of there, and I was just talking to people. I was getting reassurance. I was talking to people who I trusted, telling them what was going on. And over time, it just really built up, and it just kept me going. I said, no, you keep going. You keep at it. If you enjoy it, you do it. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you end up. The fact that you've done it is what matters. And then I've ended up at this point where I am now. Let's talk about, I think, nearly 2 years professionally now. And honestly, I've not been as proud or happy as I have in a long time. I've just really been so thankful to everybody who's helped really push me to this point.
You found your joy.
I did. I absolutely found my joy. And it was a joy that I thought I'd never get back since I was about 18. So yeah, and I'm 38 now, and I've found my joy. So it's never too late to find your joy in your life, no matter what happens to you.
Yeah, that's exactly it, and that's the message I would love for people to carry forward. Is like, I don't know about you, but like when I was younger, they kind of chase that out of you, the imagination and joy and creativity, because they want you to move forward and be productive and things like that,
Mm,
and now I can be in the booth and laugh and play the floor is lava and that kind of thing, and it's very freeing. You know
mm,
what I mean?
absolutely. It's the idea of I'm not a kid, but I can act like one sometimes, and there is no shame in that.
Not at all.
I mean, I know they say kids lose the joy as they grow up. While that's true, it doesn't have to stay lost, and I'm kind of an example of that sort of idea.
That is lovely.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I say, I never thought I'd see it again, but there it was, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how happy it ended up making me. It's like I found my purpose in life, and I was just felt so fulfilled with that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly how I feel.
It is. It's like because you feel a void inside your heart for years, and then it's just filled, and you just, wow, this is what I was missing.
I jokingly said to my partner, "This I finally know what I want to be when I grow up."
I love when adults say that. Do you know what I want to be when I grow up?
I finally know what I want to be when it, because you see folks going through school, they're like, I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a lawyer, I'm going to be whatever. I don't know.
It's like that when you go to a preschool, because when I was 16, my first year of college, I actually did childcare, and
Hmm.
I did part time for a while in a primary school, and the kid, and it was the nursery setting, so there was like 3 and 4 year olds in there who were helping out. And one thing you notice is when you come across 3 and 4 year olds, when they imagine what they'll be when they grow up, half the stuff they say will be obvious jobs or things that aren't jobs. Like some kids will go like, "When I'm big, I'm gonna be a tiger."
I am going to be a princess, a president, rainbow monkey.
Mm. It's like there is a vine that's related to what kids say when they want to grow up, because the teachers will say to you, when you grow up, you can be anything you want to be. As a way of saying, don't lose faith in anything. No matter what anybody tells you, if you work at it, you can be whatever you want. And they just what the video starts out with is saying, "Kids, you can be whatever you want." It says, "I want to be the president." "Oh, Jimmy, maybe start a bit smaller." "Bitch, you said I could be anything I want."
What you said.
Yeah. I wonder how often kids get told that. Oh, you may be aiming a bit too high, and it's like, you just said there could be anything. What are you talking about? If he wants to be president and he gets serious about it, is he a bit bigger? Who knows? Don't
Pull the rug out from under them already.
Yeah, don't crush the dream. They clearly think they can make a difference by being something really big in life, somebody big and important, somebody who, a job they look up to, and somebody they admire. And it's like, don't take that away. Come on.
Right.
It says, what if the dreams actually came true, though? Like another one I saw. "When I grow up, I want to be a dinosaur." Oh, Jimmy. 10 years later, he's a dinosaur crashing through the city. I should have listened.
Or, could be an extra on a movie set in a dinosaur costume. That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really good. Like a Walking with Dinosaurs set, puppeteering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like, well, I actually am a dinosaur. Guess who was wrong?
I did it.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be amazing. I wouldn't mind puppeteering a big dinosaur and then turn around going, "Hey, to all you kids out there who get told I can't be a dinosaur because it's unrealistic, look what I'm doing." It's amazing. You've got to do this one day.
Whenever possible, be a dragon.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I did play a dragon once in a pantomime in college, so I've checked
Cool.
I've checked that off my list.
Nice.
Whoever thought though you'd be a dragon by the time you're 19? That's crazy. Oh dear.
Maybe I'll get lucky and be a dragon in a video game someday. Look, Ma, I'm a dragon.
Oh, I'd love to play a dragon in a video game as well. Like I say, I've been a dragon twice.
I've been a dragon twice. I've never thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. Right, so we're gonna start to wrap things up now, but it was honestly amazing to have you on here. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for inviting me. I had so much fun. I love chatting.
Oh, so do I. I mean, I'd keep it going, but I would be going all night at this rate. Oh dear. Well, but yeah, and to everybody listening, thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed it. So until the next time, who's gonna come on? I don't know, but I'm asking people. But I will see you the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.